Hello, my friends. This is Rooster Jones, your favorite host for the most infamous underground podcast. I guess I don't say that very often. I guess technically in the world, because I got people everywhere. It's true. It's true. So today we have Final Conflict, One Conflict, and he will be coming on the very soon. And it's really nice to have him. He's from also a band called Lowercase Class Brats. He's a guitarist for him, but Final Conflict, he is the lead singer for them. And we will find out what else he does. Who knows? We will find out. Kideki, Odoki Doki. That was a pretty good intro. Where's my boy? People. There he is. Salut. The very good. Hello?
Can you hear me and see me?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear
Okay.
me and smell me?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Hey, how's it going, Ron?
Oh, good, man.
Well, welcome to the Rooster Show. Boy, that is a wonderful display back there behind you. The
Oh, yeah,
Misfits and all kinds of good stuff.
this is the
Wonderful.
office where I
That's
work out
awesome.
of.
Well, welcome again to the Rooster Show. It's a pleasure to have you. You are a legend in our own mind. And
Yes, in my mind,
lo-
in my own mind.
from Lower Class Brats and then lead singer of Final Conflict.
Yep.
So awesome. Okay, I actually want to focus pretty much mostly on Final Conflict, if it's all right. I actually am a fan, a good fan. Listened to you many years. Yeah, I think you guys came out in '83. I think it was.
Jeff
But
started the band. Jeff started the band in '83.
okay, okay, wonderful. That's awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with you. Your name is Ron Martinez, right?
Correct.
But you go by Ron Conflict.
I go by
And so,
Ron Conflict.
right on.
I go by both, like whatever. It just depends. Like it started being a regular thing, especially when I joined the Brats because everybody has a nickname.
Yeah, of
And
course.
so Um, it was what people were calling me Ron Flict or Ron Conflict. So
Brilliant.
it just kind of stuck.
Yeah,
So
it's a
it's
good
weird.
one.
So in Final Conflict, I'm Ron Martinez, and in the Brats, I'm Ron Conflict.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I get you now. Because when I was doing a little bit of research, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I don't see conflict in here. And I'm like, okay, let me put two and two together. So I knew you were the singer, so I'm like, oh, Ron Martinez. So okay, duh. So brilliant. Anyways, and so what got you into? Did you start with playing guitar? Did you start with singing? How did you get into involved with music?
Um. Well,
Did you have family that were
no,
musically?
I was, but I've always listened. I've always been a music fan since like I was like 4 years old. Like
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
buying 7-inch records.
hell
My
yeah.
mom, my mom would let me go to this department store called the Treasury, which is basically the 70s version of Target. And
Okay.
they used to have a record section, a vinyl section. And once a
Awesome.
week, I was allowed to pick out one 7-inch record. And my mom would let me pick it out and I'd buy it. Well, she'd pay for it. And so
What
I've
was
been
your first?
Creedence Clearwater Revival's Looking Out My Back Door 7-inch was the first 7-inch I ever got as a
Hell
kid.
yeah. Great. Great
Yeah.
song. I love it. I love Credence.
Yeah. And I still do. I still love Creedence, but
Yep, me
you
too.
know, I would buy like, whatever at the time, like Alice Cooper. I had Alice Cooper Schools Out 7-inch. I had Beatles 7 inches, Rolling Stones 7 inches, just whatever. I grew up listening to a lot of music and but I never had family members in a band. I was the first one, and that started when I was like, I don't know, like 16. And my friends were like, we're gonna start a band. And I'm like, so there was Steve, he already had a bass, and then Brian already had a guitar and a practice amp. And then our friend Greg was like, I'm gonna
Yep.
play drums. So I was like, well, shit, I guess I was like, I quickly said, I'll be the singer before somebody else in our little crew did. And that's kind of how it started, was, you know, high school garage band, playing punk rock and playing
Yeah,
parties and skate
so perfect though.
ramps and stuff. Yeah.
It's that perfect sound that I love. Um that you can't understand but probably a quarter of the lyrics unless you really know them, if they're simple enough. But if they're really complex, and you have really detailed, complex lyrics, I think you have great lyrics.
Thanks. I mean,
They're well done, and you do it so aggressively, wonderfully aggressive, but it's just in such a way where you feel that you're passionate about it. You know
well,
what I mean? It's
let me make one thing clear. It's like the Ashes to Ashes album, 90, 94.
playing it right now, by the way.
Oh, okay. 94% of those lyrics were written by Jeff, the
Okay.
guitar player. Um, because at the time, before I was even in Final Conflict, I was friends with them, with the band and Jeff. And I had asked Jeff, like, hey, who writes all the lyrics? And he goes, I do. And I'm like,
Huh.
well, that's weird. The guitar player writes the lyrics. And why? And he goes, well, because no one else will. Like, so it was on him to write the music and the lyrics. When he asked me to join the band, he asked me because he had seen me in this other group that Dave Phillips, who's in Final Conflict, we were both playing in a band called The Convicted. And
Okay.
we would watch each other bands rehearse. He would watch us and thought to himself, man, if I had that singer and I had that drummer in my group, I would be where I want to be. That guy's got the voice and the energy of what I want, but I have these other guys right now. And the same thing, Dave Phillips and I would watch Final Conflict rehearse, and we would be like, man, I wish our band was like sounded like Final Conflict. Man, if we could be in Final Conflict, you know, that would be perfect. So we go to this show at the Olympic Auditorium and we're hanging out, and Dave Phillips and I tell Jeff that, like, you know, dude, man, we wish we could be in your band. Like, our the band, like, we would love to be in Final Conflict. A week later, Jeff calls me and just says, I just kicked the drummer and the singer out. You're in the band. I mean, it's
Wow.
just like, well, I guess we're quitting Convicted, And
Yeah.
a week
That's
later, we're rehearsing with Final Conflict. And that was weird because both bands were friends and we
yeah.
rehearsed at the same rehearsal studio. So there was some weirdness for a while
Okay.
about that. But
So do you think the band's evolved in a more positive way from where it was before, from
oh,
ashes to
definitely.
ashes to now?
Yeah. Like, I mean, when Dave and I joined Final Conflict, it became a completely different sound, but it was a sound that Jeff wanted. He'd always heard in his head.
Okay.
And so he had the singer he wanted and everything. And then when I joined, I started writing the lyrics. And he like and so after that, lyrics were 50-50, Jeff and I. Sometimes Jeff would go, hey, I have the song and I've got lyrics, and he'd show them to me, and I'm like, these are great and they fit. Perfect.
Yeah,
But then
exactly.
there was other times where we would write collaboratively. Like he'd go, I've got this idea for a song. Here's some lyrics. I got kind of stumped. And then I would look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a great fucking idea. I'll finish it. So
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
certain songs that we have that are 50% lyrics. There's certain songs like the American Scream, which are 100% my lyrics, or and a lot
Okay,
of other ones. So, but I want to give credit where credit is due. Like the first
of
album
course.
is like 95% written, arranged by Jeff. Those songs were like done when, like already done when we joined. We were just kind of filling in the blank, and
Okay, but
making
you
it
did sing
manageable.
on that album.
Oh yeah,
That
I'm
was
on
your album.
Access.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard to? I mean, like to sing other people's lyrics? You know what I mean?
It can be, especially when it's a guitar player who doesn't understand that you need to breathe between. Because some of those songs, man, like Constant Fear and Abolish Police, are
Yeah,
like it's like a rap lyric, man, and it just goes
yeah,
on for over everything. And even now, at my age in my 50s, um, when we do the live set, there's those songs have to be in the early part of the set because I want to be able to do those songs with the same energy as the original
yeah. Of
version.
course.
So we always make sure I'm like, hey, look, like Bosch Police and Constant Fear got to be in the
Track
first
number
half of
two,
the set.
man. Track two. Do it
Not
at the
even, it doesn't have to
beginning.
be that early. I like to be warmed up into it, but like
uh,
I even and again, I was a kid when I joined Final Conflict. I was 19, and Jeff
damn.
was like an adult. Jeff was 22 at the time. And uh you know so he was a big adult, and I was afraid to say, dude, some of these songs have too many lyrics. I gotta trim them down. I just did what I was told, because I was a new guy in the band.
Yeah, of
And
course.
but now it's like, in anything I wrote later, I was like, got to give it room to breathe. Like I can say the same amount of stuff without so many syllables and words. So
Of course, yeah.
it's become easier. But it's one of the things I look back at now. Like I kind of laugh, where, um, you know, I can't believe I can still fit all those words without getting winded or like, you know, and in the minute I can't do it. Um,
Well, can I
so
ask a personal question? Are
yeah, go
you a
ahead.
smoker?
No, I'm not a smoker at all. Never
Okay,
have
that's
been.
one thing. Good. I'm not either, really. I mean, a J once in a while, type of thing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not a cigarette smoker. My dad
Yeah,
died
no.
from it.
Oh, I'm
Can't
sorry to
handle
hear
that.
that, man.
Yeah,
But
can't
yeah,
handle
it's like
that.
I don't want to. Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I'm able to handle that
That's good.
is to still do it is, yeah, I don't smoke or anything like that. And I train myself where I can, sound like I'm screaming my lungs out,
Yeah.
and then the next minute I'm talking with no problem, like my voice, like I've learned how to not blow my voice out and stuff.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, well, you have a great vocal, so I mean, that's awesome. I love the sound. It's just it has you have your own energy. It's brilliant. So
Thank
I
you.
appreciate what you do. I really do. Okay, and this next set of questions are not to get all personal or anything like that. Just I have concerns. I mean, you guys consider yourself a political band, right? More so, Final Conflict
What was that again?
is Final Conflict more a political punk band?
Yeah, Final Conflict, we like to classify ourselves as political punk rock,
Okay,
political hardcore punk.
okay. So what made you gravitate towards that type of genre of punk?
Well, again, the concept of the band was started by Jeff, and it was his idea where he wanted to combine the heaviness of his favorite band, Black Sabbath, but
Okay.
with bands like Crucifix and Discharge and the Germs, right? So
Oh
the
yes.
intention, the intention of being political was right there from the beginning. Okay. And that was what made me interested in the band, was because although personally, and even as a young man that was involved in the punk scene since I've been like 14, um, I've always, punk rock is a very anti-establishment, a very, very lean, oh, has always leaned towards the left, no matter what. It doesn't mean that you have to be a leftist, but the majority of the people involved in it are
Well, I
leftist.
have
And
noticed that. Yeah, I've noticed a lot
yeah,
of fans that are political that do lean towards the left.
yeah, and
But
so
wouldn't it be against both left or right if you're anti-establishment?
well, look, the status
That's
quo.
the
Yeah,
confusion.
but the
This is
status
other fans
quo.
that brought this to my attention,
Yeah,
and
in my
not
opinion,
because of
is
you.
this. Yeah, my opinion is this. This whole like uh this whole like movement or idealism that started within the past 10 years that
Yes.
the left and the right are part of the quote unquote establishment is a bunch of bullshit. It is started by right wingers who don't want to be accused of being right wingers, don't want to be accused of being conservative. So they
Yeah.
try to say certain things that like, oh, well, the left's just as bad, or they're the establishment too. And it's like, well, for the most part, you don't see a majority of leftists siding with corporate greed and leftists trying to take away other people's ability to exist that aren't in, that aren't they're not trying to take away marginalized people's lives. Okay.
Okay.
Those are primarily right wing and in throughout history it has been. And so in speaking in general broad terms, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's I'm kind of generalizing and stuff, but it's like, yeah, I've always, for me, like I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican. Okay.
Yeah. Of
I'm
course.
not a
I get
either
you.
or. I'm a
I'm not
realist.
either. I'm
Okay?
independent.
Yeah,
So
I believe that, is you can, believe what you want to believe. Believe in the purple people eater, believe in Jesus, believe in whatever. Um, as long as you're not trying to inflict harm on other people, and the only harm you're doing is to yourself, have at it. Harm yourself to like whatever. But when you start preaching against other people and implementing harm, that's where you need to be. You need to be stopped. And with that said, I'm not a person that's I'm not again I'm not about censorship, even with points of views that I don't agree with.
yeah.
If hey, if you've got an unpopular point of view, um, or you think uh you have some pretty shitty thoughts, I want to know about it. That way I know to stay the fuck away from you, you know?
Exactly.
But
I get you.
I don't think anybody should be stopped from, this is
Speaking
America.
their
You have a
mind. Yeah,
yeah, it's
because we're
America.
all
You have a
individuals and
right to
we
be
all
wrong.
we're not can't be cloned to the same.
Yeah,
We all have our uniqueness, and
yeah,
points of view and religions or whatever.
yeah. You
So
should be allowed to say what you believe in,
yeah,
as long as
exactly.
you're not in the process saying, I
Being a
believe
dickhead to someone else, stepping on someone else's balls while you're doing it.
exactly. As long as you're not like influencing people to cause harm to others. And again, like,
Good.
you
Okay.
know, have at it. I'm not about censorship. Like, I'm not one of those people that, let's say there's some right wing, you know, Trump supporting musician. I'm not
Yeah.
going to try and stop that guy from like performing. I'm not
Of
going to, oh,
course.
he needs to be banned because he's a Trump supporter. It's like, no, let the fucking public decide, like vote with
Yeah.
your dollar. That's what I always do. There's plenty of like musicians and artists that I don't agree with,
I,
and I
yeah.
vote
Of
I vote
course.
with my dollar. I just don't support them.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. I don't think that
But someone else might love them. At the same
yeah,
time.
exactly. And it's like, hey man,
So I mean,
have
you
at it.
can't
As long
win
as
them
they're not,
all. You know what I mean? You can't win every
yeah,
battle. So you might as well just kind of go with the flow.
yeah,
I mean, give them an opportunity, and I get you. Thank you very much for clarifying that.
yeah.
So, so do you feel that since the very first album, Ashes from ashes to ashes to now the lyrics, since they are two different people pretty much that are doing it. Do you feel they have expanded? Are they pretty much the same, or have they
Yeah,
evolved?
I mean, unfortunately, and I say this unfortunately, our points of view have not changed. We're still the same people
Okay.
and have those same opinions, and it sucks. I mean, I've said this on stage more than a few times where I'll say, "Hey, Jeff asked me to join this band when I was 19. We've been playing together since 1985. And it's
Got
really
it.
great to be, I'll say it's been great to be here and play these songs for you. What isn't so great is the things that we were singing about, the things that made us upset and angry are still
Yeah.
happening today. And it sucks that we're still having to like scream about this shit. That's what's not so cool. But
Gotcha.
yeah, especially like during the pandemic time and seeing people having their rights stripped away, the murder of George Floyd, and things like that, I was like, oh, hey, I guess it's comforting to know some things don't change. The police are fucking corrupt as hell and they're still getting away with murder, you
Yeah.
know? And
But I do see your frustration because here you are, preaching this stuff, yelling it to the crowd, and all this, yeah, like you said, all the shit's still the same today that we're dealing
if
with.
not,
We're
yeah,
dealing
but
with the hatred. We're dealing with all this racism. We're dealing with all this bullshit. And so I get you. It's where you don't want
yeah,
it the same. You wish we would have changed a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I would hope that we would have progressed as people, but it seems that we're going in the opposite direction. And people are willingly doing this. I'm not, um, they're willingly choosing to do this, and it sucks, but that's just where we're at right now. And so as far as like for me, my point of view is all I can do is to be the best person I can be, treat people around me and the people I deal with the same way that I would want them to treat me,
Yeah,
and
kind of like that saying that
just
do unto
go
others
on.
like they'll like done to you. Well,
Yeah,
it's pretty much
like
that Bible verse. I believe that way too, though. I mean,
yeah,
that
like
definitely
I don't.
treat everybody with love and respect because that's the
Yeah,
way I
like
want to be treated back.
um, you know, just I've been working really hard at like not trying to paint everything with the black and white.
Yeah, of
The world
course.
unfortunately isn't black and white, and again, my main focus, especially after this election, where I've just been like, you know what, just going to continue on. I'm fortunate. I live in California. We're a blue state.
Yeah,
Women here will still be protected. Marginalized people will be protected. Unfortunately, a lot of red states, there's going to be people that are going to lose their rights, and that's going to be horrible. But just got to put this country survived 4 years of Trump. Hopefully, we're going to survive another four more. And but I'm not going to let it consume me like of this doom and gloom and just to be angry and you know
you're not gonna shave your head.
oh, I'm already bald. I don't have to. It's
I'm just
you know,
messing with you on that one.
but
I,
yeah,
I
it's
had a
like
feeling you were.
I'm just
It's funny.
focusing on like again, like, hey man, I'm just gonna live my life and try to focus on positive things and to
Exactly.
be the best person I can be to those around me,
Damn
and
right.
um just buckle down for 4 years again, like
Like you say, man,
fortunate.
be the role model. Be a role
Yeah, like
model.
I'm not gonna sit there and scream on social media every single day about what the latest clown car move Trump is going to make, like I can't that's above my pay grade right now.
And to be
And
honest with you, that just kind of turns some people off, though. I mean, because I don't
I'm
like
not concerned about turning
it when
people off.
people. I don't like it when people bring out the politics necessarily. on my show. I mean, except for right now, because we had to clarify. You were like the best person to talk to about clarifying the politics in punk rock, and I appreciate it. Really, I mean, just it's I mean, it was either you or Jello. I mean, you're the next best thing. It's,
Thanks, man.
so I mean, honestly, it was a blessing having you here for that.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I want to get to something real quick though. Um, about you playing guitar for lower class brats. Huh?
yeah.
Um, when did that happen? How did that relationship start? If you don't
Um,
mind, I'd like
I've
to hear your point of view on
I've
that.
yeah, I've been a fan of the Brats ever since like I heard their first album. I got a copy of it to review, like the
Yeah,
Hating the Ignored, and I don't know what I was like 20 years ago or something. I got a review for a zine I used to write for, and when I heard it, I was like, wow, these guys really nailed down like street punk, like Oi,
yeah,
like
they do.
the first American band to really nail it. And I really liked them a lot, liked the record a lot. And then I was booking a tour for the Unseen, and the lower class brats were on that
Love
tour.
them,
And so
love them.
I met the Brats guys, and we started a friendship from that, where I ended up becoming their booking agent. And I was just always the booking agent of the Brats and a friend. And then I ended up producing a record of theirs. Um,
Hmm.
and always just kind of being like a fifth member, like, like they
Yeah.
would ask me for advice and stuff like that. What ended up happening was after they did a tour, the bass player at the time quit the band right after the tour, and there was an important show the band was supposed to play as a benefit,
Damn.
and the bass player was like not answering calls, and so I told the band like, well, I haven't touched my bass in like 6 years, but I know the songs, like we could get a couple rehearsals down and we could do this benefit show. So we did it, and then the band said, "Hey, we're going on an Australian tour. Do you want to do that? And then we'll find a permanent bass player." I was like, "Hell yeah!" Like, because I wanted to go to Australia,
Oh,
and
I still do. Oh,
yeah, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll do that." But guys, after that, I got to quit, like, because I don't want to be a full-time touring musician. I've got the booking agency, and
are
they were
you
like,
full time pretty much with Final?
"Well, both Final Conflict and the Brats, like, I, you know, we play enough, but we don't play a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay,
Like we rehearse. The guys in Final Conflict rehearse kind of regularly. I rehearse with them when we have a show, or they'll if they ever were to say, "Hey, we have some new songs we want to work on." I'd be showing up at rehearsals, writing lyrics and stuff.
gotcha.
But right now, there's no songwriting going on, so it's just usually like Jeff will send me a text with this, "Hey, this is the set list we're planning on playing for our next show." And I might do the rehearsal right before the show. Sometimes I don't. Like I'm really lucky, like I don't need to rehearse. Like and luckily the guys in Final Conflict are lenient enough with me where they're like, "Oh, it's cool. You've got this down." Or maybe they don't want me around until they absolutely need to. I don't know. Um uh, but anyways, like I'm
That's good.
in both bands equally, but like the thing was with the Brats was like it was just supposed to be a temporary thing. Well, 10, 12 years later, I'm still in the group, like
Yeah.
because what
Wow,
ended up
that's
happening
good.
was I told the guys like I'm having a really good time rehearsing with you and jamming with you, but I wish I could join the band full time, but I don't want to and can't tour. And they were like, well, actually, we wanted to talk to you about that because we don't want to tour full time anymore. We just want to do short tours, like maybe a week here, a week there. And they're like, would you be interested in staying in the band if that's how we toured? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we have done. And there's been times where the band's toured and I haven't been able to go on the tour. So they take a fill in. Like last year when they went to Europe, there was a thing that at the last minute I couldn't do it. So they took a fill in guy in my place. Um,
Huh.
we
So
try
you
to,
do the bass then? You
yeah, I play
don't.
bass. Yeah.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Okay. Now
Yeah.
you
Two
don't
less
play bass
strings.
for. You don't play bass for Final though. You just sing, right?
No, 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 no. I just sing. I
Okay,
just sing in
just
Final
double
Conflict.
checking.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wonderful, man. That's
I picked up
awesome.
the bass years ago because I would have
Bass
song
is
ideas.
fun.
Yeah. I would just have song ideas, so I'd figure out how to play it, and then I would show the bands that I was in, like, here's my song idea, and then the band would play it correctly. I would give them the idea, and then they would play it correctly, and then
Here's
maybe
the idea.
Yeah, it was like the skeleton of the song.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
but I started to actually get pretty decent on bass when I was playing bass for this hardcore band called 46 Short for a few years. And that's where I actually was kind of like into like I started getting into being a bass player. Like I
Okay.
love I love playing in LCB, like and just being the side guy and just
Yeah,
being
I
a
get you.
songwriter and the bass player. Um, but I'm an equal member of both bands. Like the latest Brats album, um, almost every song on there I've either co-wrote with Marty. There's not one, I think that there's no song that I didn't have a part in the writing of the music on the
Okay.
last record, you know.
Wow, that's awesome.
But they're
Uh,
two completely different beasts. And it's great because I get when I want to
yeah.
play angry, fuck you in your face political music, I could do Final Conflict. And I just want to
Yeah.
play straightforward, punk rock. I got the Brats where there's like, you know, and it's really funny because all the guys in the Brats, we're all pretty, very politically aware and very like open-minded guys. Like we're pretty leftist as well, but we're not a political band on stage. And it's nice to
Yeah.
be able to be just entertainment, you know, um, in
To
that
get your mind
sense.
off that shit sometimes,
Yeah, like the
because
Brats is just
really
like come and have a good
it can
time.
weigh a person down, if we
Yeah,
focus so much on that politics, and it just, yeah, like I already said it can wear you down. I mean, no matter what
where you
side you
down,
are
man.
on, I mean, just all that having to think about it all the time, having to dwell on it. It's like, my God, just focus on better things. Here, yeah, do you have a family, by the way?
Yeah, I do. I have my
That's
band
good.
members. I have my parents, my mom, my sisters and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's great then. Oh yeah, of course. And do you have anybody you would like to thank? Say something to your
Oh,
fans. How about that? What would you
I
like to
don't know
say
if
to
I
your
have fans. I
fans?
got friends. Say hi to everyone and anyone that supports the Brats and who's supported Final Conflict all these years. I mean, I started playing in punk bands when I was like 16 years old, and I turned 59 last month. And the fact that I'm still able to do this
Yeah, you look
is
good.
pretty mind blowing because like um I never would thought 20 years ago I would have never thought that I was still playing punk rock music.
Oh yeah.
Um, you know,
Punk's not
or
dead, buddy.
anyone would care. But the fact that we could do shows and people come to see us is awesome. And you know, always the best thing about playing live shows is either getting to see your friends or making new friends. And I'm eternally grateful to anybody that supports anything that I've played a part in and comes to the shows to have a good time or is
Good
a
for you.
fan of Final Conflict. I'm very fortunate. You know,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
everything
That's awesome.
everything cool about my band, the bands that I've been in, anything cool that's ever happened to me has been because of connected with these bands. Like
Yeah.
uh, I've made some of the best friends because I met them at shows or played a show, and I met my wife, at a Final Conflict show, and
Hey, I met my wife
everything.
at one of my shows too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like,
25
I
years later now, buddy.
yeah, good, awesome, dude. But like, yeah, it's like, um, it playing music has always been the redeeming thing in my life. I listen to music every single day. There's not a day that
Oh,
I'm
definitely
not
not.
listening or
Exactly.
I'm not listening to something. If I'm either playing it on my system or I'm like, streaming it, like there's not a day that I am not listening to music. I could do, you might as well tell me I can't breathe, if I'm not going to listen, yeah, if I wasn't allowed to, listen to music.
Yeah,
There's been a
definitely.
few
I
times
got
where
you guys on speaking of that, I got you on my Spotify mix, which is the bombest freaking Spotify Oi punk spot playlist there is. So I mean it's like 120 hours long or something like that.
that's
It's
insane.
Yeah, and it has Final Conflict, low top spots on it, everybody, Evil Conduct, and everything. They just everything
Oh
from
man, we're
punk to
right up there with all
oi,
the
and
greatest hits.
I'll
Awesome.
send you a mix. So I'll send you a link to that. I
Send me
mean,
the
just
link. Send me the link through my
yeah,
Instagram.
it's a pretty good one. So and what was one of your favorite tracks that you've put out?
With
What's one
Final
of them that
Conflict?
yeah that one for Final Conflict that that just gets you pumped every fucking time?
There's a couple. Final Conflict, my favorite songs to play, and my just that the songs I really like is From Ashes, uh, Ashes to Ashes. Like one of my favorite songs is Central America.
Yeah.
Uh, that song just gets me going every time we play it live. I actually, I actually almost broke my ankle one time we were playing live because I was stomping my foot really hard on the
Oh,
beat stuff, and then I like, oh shit, woke up with a
oh,
swollen ankle. Base Extinction's another song that was on our Rebirth record is one of my favorites that we do.
yeah.
Um,
If you can't love your own music, you know what I mean? Then why
yeah,
even play it? Because it should be music that you love to play anyways,
yeah,
right?
and then with the
I love
Brats.
to write music, by the way, too. I love
Yeah,
it.
I love writing music. And with the Brats, some of my favorite songs to play, like ones that I didn't write, but I still love playing, is like Rather Be Hated Than Ignored. It's one of my favorite songs to play live.
Yeah,
That song
good one.
just fucking crushes. Um, I really like playing PGL and the New Seditionaries. And of our new stuff on our new album that I helped co-write or wrote, I like uh one of my favorites is like All the Young Dudes Are Pissed or Dangerous Minds,
Yep.
which is funny because Dangerous Minds, when we tracked that no, I'm sorry, it was Ghost. Ghost is one of my favorites, and I wrote that song, like all of music's mine. But when we were tracking it and we're just hearing it, didn't have lyrics yet, I was like, man, this song, I don't know, it's kind of plain Jane, and I don't think I'm gonna want this on the record. And well, I wrote it so I could just tell the guys it's not going to be in the record. I don't think this is that great of a song. And then Bones sent me tracks after he did vocals for it because again, when
Yeah.
we recorded it, there was no vocals. It was just a song idea. And he sent me with his song, his lyrics on it, and his song it became my favorite song on the record. Where I was
That's
like, "Oh,
badass.
this song's staying on the record. It's amazing." It's one of my favorite songs to play live
It's
as
awesome.
well. But if I was to say for Final Conflict, if it was only like one song, definitely my favorite song is Central America to play. I love playing that song. Um, if we play it every show, and then Rather Be Hated by the Brats with the Brats. That's
Gotcha.
always one of my favorite songs to play
Seems
live.
like you have just a true love for writing music, then, really.
Yeah, I do. I love rehearsing new
Putting
stuff.
out good
Like
music,
right now.
helping people put out good music. I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
that's good shit, dude. Good for you, man. I really do appreciate you. I kind of was a little nervous coming into this because I know you've been around for a while, and honestly, I'm 52, so I've been listening to what you've been listening to pretty much all my life too. I love the punk. I grew up loving the skin and punk and uh goth rockers, man. I love goth rockers. I love that
Oh
too.
yeah.
It,
I like a lot of the like the death rock stuff too. Like I don't
oh, I
know.
love death rock, Christian
Yeah,
death, early spiritual crap, man.
you should check out my buddy's band Nox Novacula. They're from Seattle. They're amazing.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I have heard of that name.
Yeah,
I'll send
they're
you a link
great.
to one of my songs too. I'm working on an album this year for my band called Rising Underground. So yeah, it's a
Oh,
goth
please
rock
do.
project. So yeah, I'll send you a link, man. I do appreciate you. Bless you, man. Bless your family. Bless your wife, and
Thank you.
bless your animals if you have them. And I just really do
Three
appreciate your time,
cats.
and I'm
Three
glad
cats.
that three cats. I got seven, so I beat you. So it wasn't my fault though, man. You can't say no to an innocent
No, you
baby
can't say
that's
no to a
locked
cat.
into a freaking truck, or
Yeah.
is one was found in a car engine, one was found in a pallet at Home Depot, and turned out that one had two freaking babies. So I mean, just you can't say no to them. Yeah, they're God's creatures, man. They're just innocent. They're beautiful. and they're innocent. You know,
Yeah.
humans suck, but animals rule. You know, and that was
Yeah,
what I
there you
usually
go.
say. Well, take care of yourself, and you're always welcome on my show. You get a new
Thanks so much
album
for your
put
time.
out for Final Conflict. Tell the boys the lower LBC, LCB, if they want to do so, do a little promo for their new stuff. Go ahead, we'll get together and do a little promo on it. So
Awesome, Rooster.
I appreciate you.
Thanks
Much
so
love and
much.
respect. And you're very welcome, man. Anytime you want to talk, I'm always here
Have a
for you.
great weekend.
You too. Take care of yourself.
Bye
More
bye.
rock, less cock here on the Rooster Show. Thank you. Take care, Rob.